can you tell us about conditions of your car? Did you think you had the power that you could win this race if you were able to stay out of trouble?
It's difficult to say because now I'm here talking to you. I should be out there fighting for the win, but I think...
Greg Moore. Greg Moore gets into the barrier big time in the same kind of trap. And looks like Christian, or looks like Emerson maybe.
Emerson drove over his wheel that was sitting out in the side. I saw him try to go around. That looks like, look, I think that's Christian Fittipaldi. He's coming over to have a word.
Several red cars, and the safety team is already there.
Well, they look like they're having more than a couple of words there. Looked like Christian was maybe giving him a shove. They had to separate him. Yes, that's Christian. He's hot.
Oh, Christian's furious.
That Brazilian temper. I saw earlier that Greg Moore in the corner previous went around the outside of him, and I guess they didn't have room when they got up the other side.
Well, the IndyCar safety team separates the two. Greg Moore, who is privately a very mild-mannered driver, but hot on the race cars, and Christian Fittipaldi, who is absolutely furious with this situation, wisely walks over behind the wall, still angry. And Emerson Fittipaldi indeed was also through that accident, and he's out. The right front wheel cut off the car. We have a full course yellow for the second time of the day. Boy, one very angry guy. Let's go up and take a look at this. This is from overhead.
Okay, see Greg on the outside around that red car, gets around the outside. They come back. And oh, it looks like, well, I thought Christian kind of cut in on him a little bit there.
Now watch, let's see.
And they tangled. Now his wheel's out there. Hits the wall there, and I think you'll see a wheel come off. Yeah, there it was. It'll go out and it'll sit in the track, and it looks like Emerson comes alongside somebody else and runs over that wheel.
And Christian goes over to talk to him.
He's going to have a word, grabs him. What are you doing?
Moore steps out the other side and almost pulls him across the car.
Walks away. You know, that's a
smart thing to do.
It is a smart thing to do, but I can also understand everybody's tempers are hot. Christian had made a couple of good moves and was moving up.
So there's the disabled car, and of course Emerson Fittipaldi got into this, and we got two angry people, one a little bit more angry than the others, and two Fittipaldis out of the race on the same thing. Here we go. It's the same thing again.
Now see, Christian's gone on the inside, and Greg Moore's around the outside in the blue car. Christian's in the red one. They're going up. Now this track goes back to the left, just here. And Christian thinks he's got enough room. Again, maybe a blind spot, and they just touch. Greg's got nowhere to go. The wall, the curb, everything's right there. Christian tries to turn in. Boom, they touch.
Now let's see if we can watch as the rest of the cars come through, because we only got a glimpse of Emerson Fittipaldi as he came through here and got into the debris from Christian's car.
Right, I think that's actually Greg Moore's tire sitting right out there in the track, almost by those two black spots.
Let's go down to Jackaroo.
Let's see if we can get a first-person account of that accident from Emerson Fittipaldi. You were involved.
Well, Jack, I was just coming in on the corner when I saw the crash happen. And one of the wheels was on my way, and I couldn't avoid it. Just drove over the wheel and banged on the suspension. That's a shame.
You were just running your type of race. We were monitoring the radios, and you seemed very comfortable in the car. And it was going to be one of these where you thought the race would come to you.
I'm sure it was going to happen, and the car was good, the brakes was good, the engine was good, everything was running beautiful.
And then your nephew was also involved. You probably didn't get a chance to see it, but he went over and not only had words, but I understand that maybe he had a little bit more than words with Greg Moore.
Well, I don't know what happened, and that's a shame what happened. And, you know, being out of the race is the fourth race now that I hope from now on Nazareth will be running strong and be the end of the race.
Well, you saw from the overhead video that Emerson Fittipaldi is pretty lucky to be there because he really smacked into that tire off of Greg Moore's car. Watch this as he comes through here. It'll be the red car coming down. The wheel assembly, not just the tire. That's heavy.
It's got everything out there. See, you know, that's what threw him. The car in front of him moved right out of the way. Emerson never saw the wheel and ran right over it. That's a pity.
Yeah, he was tucked in right behind Raul Boisel. So we're under a full course yellow. Here's the lineup as they
check in with Greg Moore. Greg, give us your version of what happened out there.
Well, Christian got slowed down in turn 6, and I went around the outside of him, and I was ahead of him coming out of the turn, and then we went side by side into 7, and you know, I had the inside line, and I guess he just didn't want to give it up, and you can't go side by side through that turn, and you know, we just came together. He chopped in front of me a little bit, and we came together, and it's just a racing accident, I guess.
A little bit shocked what happened after the accident?
Well, I guess he was just a little excited about the whole thing, and you know, we'll go into Nazareth where I know the whole Players Foresight team can win that race, and you know, it's too bad here because I think we had a good chance, but you know, it's too bad.
Let's check in with Gary for the other side of the story.
Well, here is the other side of the story. Christian Fittipaldi, we just heard from Greg Moore. What was your situation here going into that turn?
I think my situation was quite clear on the TV, and it was quite clear that I got hit by his front wheels on my rear wheels. So unfortunately, I think when that happens, it's not that we were racing, we were side by side. We went in the other corner side by side, and there was absolutely no problem. But the second corner, I had a half a car advantage, and I think he just forgot to brake, and he ran into me and nailed me into the wall.
Now, what did you tell him when you ran to him?
It's simple. You can lose a race on the first lap, and you can never win one on the first lap. There's still like an hour and 15 minutes to go, and lots of racing is going to happen, and I think he was a little bit too much revved up.
And we already hear that there's a $5,000 fine waiting for Christian Fittipaldi, a preliminary ruling. Billy Camphausen just told the team.
Now, Christian Fittipaldi and Greg Moore, both reasonable explanations. You figure it out for yourself as we go back to green flag racing. You noticed on the